one of the things about VR that scares me is the complete like separation of reality.
Yep.
And like is my house on fire? Did someone murder my dog?
Yeah, and that's sort of, there are a few major concerns I have about VR and Vive,
Is
especially.
dog murder one of them?
Because when you, sadly it is not.
Oh.
When you,
That's
sadly.
happily.
That's happily. When you're in Oculus, you have the headset on, you're in a chair, you're doing your thing, and the only time you move, you're going to take that headset off.
Yeah.
But with Vive, it's like you're actively walking around a room. And I really wonder how necessary it's going to be, because I've never had a demo without somebody being there to be like,
Totally.
I'm going to put your headphones on now. Like very
spotter.
Yeah, somebody is spotting you, and they're very like openly communicative about what they're going to do. So I wonder, like, once we have one in the office, am I going to need Marty there to be like, all right, coming to put the headphones on. Okay, I'm going to watch you play the game because you need someone here to spot you.
Yeah,
in case
and even once
goes
you have the
wrong.
headphones on, the spotter would have a microphone and sort of be your your CO. Yeah.
But the problem became in most of my demos, like probably half, I would say, I would get tangled up in the cord because basically everything runs to the back of the helmet, runs through the back of the helmet.
It's like an umbilical cord.
Yeah, and it was
Like the hit film Avatar.
damn it, Marty. I kept thinking like somebody needs to make a Predator game to make that feel valuable because you got this big dumb dread behind you.
It makes me think of having just played Legacy of the Void.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the
totally.
Protoss.
Yeah.
Have the nerve whatever.
But it's a really honestly huge issue. And not to say like it makes Vive unusable. It's obviously I think it's incredible and I can't wait to use it. But it's just so inconvenient to have this like long, heavy thing weighing you down, pulling your head down, and it's all these cables connecting to audio and video into the computer and into your head.
Does
and
it connect to a power socket as well? I imagine this has to be
Probably,
powered
yeah.
through the wall.
No, I mean it's the same exact
probably
thing.
just from a power supply.
It's the same exact thing as the Oculus as far as what goes on your head.
Yeah.
So that's it's just going to be a bunch of USB connections.
But I'm almost worried that like if you step on something, is it just all going to get unplugged? Is
Right,
it
and
going
that's
to knock
the
your
thing,
PC over or pull
is-
your PC over?
I would get tangled and I would trip and they'd be like, oh, hang on, lift your right leg, and they'd like untangle me. And if I don't have that person, like, am I gonna die? Am I gonna be okay? And I kept unplugging the audio. I don't know where it was or like which cable it was because I couldn't see. But
Yeah, I wanna
more
know-
than 3-4 times I would step on the cable and it would just pop out of my ear.
I want to know if
pop
they
out
have
behind my ear.
if they have like a MagSafe release on that
Right.
thing to prevent you from just destroying your USB ports.
Yeah.
It'd be nice.
Yeah, like I actually on my PC at home, like 2 of my USB ports on the front are destroyed because just not even from something like this, but just from having stuff plugged in there and it gets bumped and it just
Right.
rips.
You get out of your chair and you rip your headphones out.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it was the headphones actually.
Funny.
But yeah, like so I'd be very worried about tripping over those cords and having it rip something apart. And that's like with the wired Xbox controllers. They've got those little cables.
The little separator thing.
Yeah.
Safe release cables. Yeah, because people trip over them and destroy the USB ports on their
Yeah.
Xboxes or their PCs.
Yeah.
So like I hope they have something like that.
Yeah.
Me
Yeah,
too.
there's like as I completely agree with you, Mitch, to where Vive's been the most impressive VR I've used Oculus and I've used PSVR, but Vive's been the most impressive, but it's also the least
practical.
likely for me to ever have in my home because
Yep.
I have a
You don't have the
single
space.
bedroom in a 5-bedroom place in San Francisco, and it's not very big, and it has a bed, and
Right.
and so I'm like, well, I can never use this at home. Like, I'm super stoked to have one set up here in our
Yeah.
demo room where we can like move everything to the corners and
Yep.
hopefully not die.
And
if
people are
anything
probably
breaks,
going
I
to
don't
want to
care 'cause
spot
it's not
you and
mine.
look out for you and stuff because they
Yeah.
want to see you like in get like I want to.
It's going to be hilarious all the
Yes.
things they're going to
Oh, yeah.
do to you while you're in there.
I have a feeling we're all going to be playing, and then we're just going to open the curtains on that room, so everyone's just going to stare in like we're chimps in a zoo.
You're gonna take it off and realize that somebody has removed your pants while you weren't paying attention.
Oh, no pants.
Happened to me at the event.
That's why
crazy.
That's why I start games with no pants. I'm gonna take it off and someone
You're just
put pants
thinking
on me.
I was telling people at the event, a couple devs, like we were just spitballing, like, man, VR is so cool. Wouldn't it be cool if, like, I want a game that is literally, I put on a headset and I just pet a dog. Like that's all I need from VR is just like, I had a bad day. I want to go home and like hang out with my therapy VR dog.
Along those lines, you were talking about that God game. I want Black and White 3
That'd be
in
awesome.
VR.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know if you heard Dan
I-
Freeman.
that that actually is part of what made me think of that. I remember talking to Peter Molyneux about like Kinect. It's like, hey, the one Kinect game I want to play is black and white. I want to like wave my hands around and have magic happen.
Yeah.
But like this would be 100 times better.
Yeah. Imagine how cool it would be to just have a space that you could like terraform. And like you hold in one of the triggers, and you can just like dig into a mountain, scooping out a mountain,
or just have it. Just the idea of looking down at a world and seeing a bunch of little villagers going about their day, and being able to reach down and pluck one and toss them into the sea.
Yeah, that is probably the most satisfying thing in Vive is like you have the grips and the triggers, so you can use your hands to like close on your palms or your fingers to like pinch stuff. And there's something really amazing about, and everybody did this. Everyone was talking about it at the end of the day. There's so many like bottles and breakable things in every demo right now.
Knocking them out.
Yeah, and everyone's just like, I'm trying to find a thing, and everyone's like, nope. Grab the thing, throw it behind you. Like you don't care about anything. You're super reckless. It's in budget cuts that punishes me because I'm just recklessly like, all right, I'm gonna grab this grate. I'm gonna throw it behind me. And it like alerts a guard, and he comes around the corner. I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
You treat everything like it's a Looney Tunes cartoon almost, where it's
basically
you're just like fast motion throwing
shoveling through a drawer, and
and
everything's going behind you.
I hope they make a Kylo Ren tantrum simulator.
I would play that.
But yeah, I guess so. The limitation again is the cord, right? So
yes.
I think that's just going to be an inherent problem until somebody solves how to wirelessly transfer 90 frames a second video at the crazy resolution they've got with no latency, which is going to be a long time. That's not going to happen real soon.
Well, yeah, and then also when they do like get over that, what is it going to be like? How long is it going to hold a charge? Like, how long will that thing be able to, on a single charge? Like, will you be able to play an hour?
I mean, you'd be able to just like wear a battery pack that looks like a bomb vest. Just like, just like
future of gaming.
But you could totally power it for a long time.
Yeah, and also I imagine. I'm curious for when the stats come up, but I imagine that the time per play session of VR is going to be like significantly lower than average games at the start.
Most games are not designed for long periods of play. Like The Gallery is an adventure game. Each episode is like a couple hours, 3 hours long, and it's the only game I can think of that I've played where I was like, oh yeah, I'll happily just like throw on the headset, vanish into this world, absorb its story, kind of poke around its spaces and see what's what. And the rest of them is like, oh, like I love Job Simulator, but I'll probably like do a bunch of kitchen quests and call it a day and go back tomorrow and do a bunch of
treat it like you do like an iOS game. Like not in a pejorative sense.
Right. Like everything is very...
I don't think that's going to be the case just because of the amount of setup it's going to take to get in there and get up and running. But I do think that most games will probably be designed to be digestible in 1 to 2 hour sittings, with the exception of simulators. Simulators, like you could very easily like jump into a driving simulator and just go nuts like all day, like that would be a lot of fun, I think, and there's no reason why not.
And I think it's going to be stuff like you're going to download an app that is just like Venice, and the entire thing is like whether it's filmed in 360 degrees or it's like a CG simulation of it. It's like, okay, cool. I'm going to go and I'm going to chill in Venice. I'm going to explore. I'm going to check out a museum.
Yeah.
I'm going to go sit on a beach.
Yep.
And that's what I'm going to do.
I have no doubt that the second this hits market, there's going to be like live 3D cams. Well, like some place, some corner in Paris has a 3D camera, or somewhere in San Francisco has a 3D camera set up a live feed.
It would not surprise me at all.
And I mean, that's stuff you can do with the Gear VR for $100 and your
you can watch
Samsung
boxing
phone.
matches the day after.
I watched some of the debate stuff in Gear VR. It's like it was kind of silly, but also neat. And
so is the debate.
Yeah, I mean, the most one of the most compelling ideas behind with that kind of thing is like imagine being at a sporting event like a football game, you're just on the sidelines. Imagine they've got cameras every 20 yards.
Yeah,
and you can just hop between them to see. And like wherever the action is, you're on the sidelines.
Yeah, or like at a show, like at I don't know, you don't have to go and hang out with all the hipster doofuses at Coachella, and you could just like go watch the shows there in 365 degrees.
You like sit in front row at every concert.
365 degrees.
Yeah, man.
Where did the fifth degree come from?
365 degrees is just turning 5 degrees.
Yeah.
But
if Valve doesn't have this for the international, it's gonna make me very sad.
Yeah.
So to be able to watch Dota in or watch the actual players playing as opposed to
or if it's like, okay, we set up a 360 degree camera in the booth, so you can like watch what PPD is doing, or it's in the middle of the crowd, so you can like look at the stage and look up at the screen and watch the game.
What about just a being able to view a Dota game from within Dota?
I've wondered about that. Like, I don't know what that looks like. We were talking about that for League. We were talking about that for Dota, and it's like those games have such a very specific spectator angle that makes it useful. That if you're like walking around or sitting in your chair and you're having to like manipulate it, like it's obviously useful and cool, but I don't know like what that feels like. I'm definitely interested to try, but it's a very foreign idea.
Yeah, I like the why the hell can't I remember the dumb plane game name? Finish landing. Doesn't matter. But I like the idea of people releasing these little things that are like
Final Approach.
Cool fake 3D cities that you can have a god mode over. Not even like interact with, but just sort of like poke around like King's Landing or the Shire or something like that.
And be able to walk around the Enterprise D. Somebody already built that.
Totally.
I think they also built Voyager. A fully interactable. Like imagine being able to walk around the Millennium Falcon.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I played at CS last year a thing
Someone
where you
made
could
that
sort of walk around. It was Tony Stark's Avengers Tower, whatever thing.
Oh, cool.
So like the lab, and you see like, oh, there's Captain America's shield, and there's Jarvis, and that kind of thing. And I'm like, that's gonna be so cool. Like, and that's the easiest advertisement for anything. Like a new Batman movie,
easy.
Not easy, but it is advertising in terms of like a new Batman movie's coming out. Here's a 3D Batcave you can walk around.
Right. I mean, like what about exclusive stuff? Right. Like who's gonna be the first one to be like, okay, the Episode 8 trailer. Star Wars Episode 8, first trailer ever is VR only.
Yeah.
I mean, they'd be crazy to do that within the next, say, 10 years.
Yeah.
But it'll somebody will do it, and it's going to be interesting to see how and why they do it.
I don't know if anyone's going to make a trailer for a 2D movie in 3D. I think they'll have to make the entire movie 3D.
Or it would be...
That's awesome.
Or it would be a
cool
completely separate thing that is an ad. So, like... If it would have been for episode 7, like a minute-long scene where Rey is just like sitting by her
eating her lunch,
eating her lunch as like one of the suns is setting in the background, and you could sort of just like view that scene from any angle for a minute.
Well, I mean, you can't. Well, you can kind of do it from any angle. The thing is, like, the cameras will see each other if they're there.
Not if it's a 360-degree camera.
If you've got multiple ones,
digital editing,
right. You'd have to rid of them. You'd have to remove them, or you'd have to just do multiple takes.
Yeah.
But
keep eating your lunch. I saw an inconsistency the way she ate her spice sandwich.
She was holding the spice spoon in right hand before now in left.
Why are these guys Russian?
Why are they ever, Dan? Why are they ever?
Why are there people like Frank?